Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to the channel. This is another one in my Lightburn for Newbies series of videos. And in this video, we're finally going to get to your first project. We're going to be designing and engraving and cutting a very simple ornament design. I'm going to create it and it'll be so easy you can do it yourself. So let's just get right into it. Alright, so we're in Lightburn, and to start with an ornament, we're going to make a circle. So I click the circle tool, ellipse tool, hold down my shift key, and drag it out to get a perfectly round circle. Now, I'm going to make this 95 millimeters diameter. And you notice I locked the aspect ratio lock. That way it changed both dimensions at the same time. So we have a 95 millimeter diameter ornament. So we have a 95 millimeter circle. Now we need to make a hole for the hanger. So we're going to go right where the crosshairs is a positive sign. That means we're centered on it. Hold down Command and Shift and drag out. And that turned out to be 17 millimeters, which is fine. Let's do that again. Command and Shift from the center. And that one's 6 millimeter. I actually want that to be 8 millimeter. So type in 8. And the aspect ratio is still locked. Okay. So there we have our basic shape for our ornament. Now we're going to use a Boolean tool here. Don't be scared of it. Just click on this. Whoops, it moved. So I just did Command Z to undo it. So hold that, or select that, Shift and select this one, and then come over here and click Weld. And that took out that inner circle. And now we have our hanging hole is all part of it. And if we do nothing else, you have a blank for an ornament. But we got to do something more than that. Let's put some text on it. So I'll grab the text tool, and in fact I'm going to let's go to Johnson family. And I'm going to reduce the size of that to where it fits. And in fact, I'm going to center it so it's selected. Shift and select that. And that's centered, but not how we want, because if you notice, this loop on top actually makes it more than 95 millimeters wide, so now it's 103 millimeters tall. So it's not a longer circle. It's not centering on the circle, it's centering on the entire shape. Let me show you a quick trick to combat that. I'm going to drag out another circle. We're going to go back here into the center. Command, Shift. And that's not going to work for us the way we want it to anyhow, but that's okay. Now we'll make it 95 millimeters. And then with that selected, Shift and select the outer circle. Oh, got to get rid of the out of the ellipse tool and into the select tool. So Shift, select the outer circle, center it vertically, and then center it to the bottom line. So now that is centered. We're going to select on that and change that to a toolpath. So now that won't engrave, that won't print. That's only we're using that for framing purposes. So now with that toolpath still selected, now I can select. Actually, I need to select the name first, then the toolpath, because I want to align the name to the toolpath, not the other way around, and then hit the center. And now that text is dead center in the ornament, in the round part. Okay, and we need one more text element here. 2025, and you notice how the last color that we had used is what it comes in on the next time, so that's okay though. We'll use the select tool, and we're going to put this on a black layer anyhow, and we're going to put this on a black layer. Now take that and this and center it vertically. Now we could add a couple more elements to here if we wanted to. In fact, let's do that. Let's just add a quick something or other in here. Sure, let's add this little sleigh. That's huge. We don't want it to be huge. We're gonna shrink it on down. Shrink it on down some more. I'm dragging by the corner handle, you see. That fits in there. So now we need to move everything else down. I'm going to hold down Shift while I drag it, and it's going to keep it centered. It's going straight down. And we'll do the same thing with the numbers, with the date. Move that down to where it's just inside the edge. And bring it down just a little bit more. Make sure this is centered. Shift and select the toolpath. Vertically centered. Okay. So we have that set. And if I click on the preview, that's what the ornament, that's how it's going to engrave and cut out. So what do we got to do now? Well, in the last video we learned our settings for our cuts and our engraves. So with the fill layer, I'm going to go medium brown and click assign. And then the cut layer, I'm going to come down here and grab the cut and hit assign. And you notice that all the settings changed in both of those layers. But I want to do the cut after the fill, so I'm dragging that down below. And the tool layer, like I say, the tool layer doesn't matter. It's never going to cut or engrave. It's just there for framing purposes. So let's go to our laser tab. I want to go to absolute coordinates for this one. I have a board in the laser, and it's against my fence, so I know exactly where it is. So I'm going to select this entire thing, entire ornament, and I'm going to place it at 648 on my X and 2 on my Y. Let's see. Oh, but that didn't put it where I want because I had the center dot selected instead of the top corner dot. I got to do that again. 648 and 2. And now it's right where I want it to be. So let's take a look at the laser. And I'm going to frame this real quick. That's going right where I want, next to those other two ornaments. Let's go ahead and let's hit the start button. Okay, so there we have it. One ornament, your first project. Super simple. I'm going to do a follow-up video to this on a little more complex ornament with a few more advanced techniques involved. So stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, stay tuned for more Lightburn tips and tricks, and thanks for watching. We'll see you.